Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. How are you all? Yes, it seems like Katie Joy is on the got herself into some trouble um, and is needing some money. I'm finding it all very interesting. Hello, number one fan. How are you all? How are you? That's good to see you. Her Instagram, and then there are some clips. Apparently, she's back on TikTok because apparently you need the money. So we will have a quick Katie Joy catch up. But yes, it's a cool cold day in Melbourne because we're in winter, of course, and yeah, just trying to keep warm. So, and it's around lunchtime. I've just had a toasted ham and cheese sandwich, and of course, calls me. Whenever it's funny, it's like he's got this sixth sense about. He'll always call me when I can't. Like he's got this sixth sense, hey? So let's have a look. What's happened here? I'm just having a look at something. I think she said that she did say in the past. She did say that. Yes, you are correct. Okay, so let's have a look. Oh, there's also been an update to the case. So I'm just downloading the stuff here because it looks like there's some more correspondence that have come in. So let's have a look. We better start with that because I've missed all of this. So you take a few days away and okay. Well, she did say that she did have. Okay, so wait on, what's that one? I know that's fine. Wait on, it says noodles order other. So let's have a look. Oh, what did she say here? Order issue. Oh, wait on. I'm just downloading this stuff here. Order will issue. Okay. I've added it. Just downloading it all now. All right. So there's a notice of filing of order. Let's just have a look. Let's just look at this logically at the moment. Okay. So we've got here. So these are the two letters of correspondence here. We've got a notice of due termination here. A notice of judicial termination. So this is the letter here, and she says order will issue. So there's an order coming. There is an order. It says order will issue. Order will issue, and then it says that notice of filing of order that on July the 10th the following was filed, an order. So that's what we're looking for. So let's have a look. I'm just trying to see if I can find it now in amongst all of this. Okay, so here we go. Here's the new order. So essentially what we've got here is we've got a new order, and it essentially means more mullah. Anthony, I thought she said her channel made millions. I guess she's running low on money if she has to rely on people to give her money. Yes. So apparently she has been subpoenaed by the Blake Lively regarding her stuff that she said on Blake Lively. So she's dealing with a subpoena now, as well as everything else. So let's look at this order. So as I said, there was a new order that was filed. Okay. So essentially, it's funny because having a look at order number 1, it says that she's got to file a motion for consideration. Isn't that what I said when I read the letter? Didn't I say that she's likely to have to file an order? Hey, that's not bad for somebody that's a law student. I mean, for a motion to reconsider, I would have just said, I just would have filed the motion. But anyway, so This was an order. It says, whereas the above entitled matter came before the Honourable Kari Willis for Chambers review of defendants' correspondence requesting permission to file a motion to reconsider the court's June 23rd, 2025 order granting in part and denying in part motions for summary judgment. Whereas plaintiffs filed correspondence opposing defendants' requests and pursuant to Minnesota Rule of General Practice, motions only be granted upon a showing of compelling circumstances. And whereas the court finds that compelling circumstances to file a motion to reconsider do exist in part, the extensive litigation history of this case, the complexity of the legal issues presented to the court, the voluminous allegations in the complaint, and the importance and accuracy and clarity regarding the court's ruling. Now, therefore, the court makes the following order. Defendants shall be permitted to file a motion to reconsider the court's 2023-2025 order, granting in part and denying in part motions for summary judgment of this order of this date. The plaintiff's responsive brief shall be filed within 21 days from the date defendant's motion is filed. Defendant's reply shall be filed within 14 days from the date the plaintiff's responsive brief is filed. Defendant shall contact court administrator to schedule a live hearing if they desire oral arguments on the matter. So we've got 30 days. Okay, so when was this filed? The 10th. So 30 days takes it into August. Then days to file a response. So then we're into October. So then there is, then there's 14 days. So we're going to be into October, November for this argument here. So we're heading into November for this part. Hello, Koi Kane. Maybe she needs to sell the bench. So all that's happened is that we have just got more and more costs piling up here. Now, for her to file a motion, if we go back to the courts thing, the motions cost money. So it's going to cost her money to file a new motion. Thing is, the fact that the judge has actually had to do it in chambers is also a court cost that's been increased. The judge has had to read all of that and then set this. So yes, we have an update. So she's got 30 days to file a motion for reconsideration. Now, just because she files a motion for reconsideration and the motion, she is allowed to file the motion, doesn't mean that there is a prospect chances of winning. Because I'm going to be very interested to see what their arguments makes me mad. KJ asking for money because her mouth when she's bragging about all that she's bought these last 3 years. Yes. Well, and I mean, she's done it herself, right? So under the Minnesota court rules, okay, this is the Minnesota court rules here. All right, it says motions to are prohibited except by express permission of the court, which will be granted only upon a showing of compelling circumstances. Reasons to make such a motion and any responses to such requests shall be made only by letter to court of no more than 2 pages in length, copy which must be served on opposing counsel and self-represented litigants. So that's what they've done. So they've asked for reconsideration. So there you go. But essentially, she's been given permission to file a motion. For me, that's just a waste of money. Okay, so let's look at her Instagram now. So she's been very much, she jumped on the gypsy train there. So she was all the way down here. So she apparently got a subpoena from Google. Correction, this subpoena is legit. My attorney is going to file a motion quash because, one, I'm a reporter. Two, I've not been paid by anyone. I've not talked to anyone at Brian's firm or the parties. I'm reporting on a public story, and I began my reporting after Blake Lively filed. And she did a video on it. So, yes, so she's been subpoenaed. So she's not happy about that. I got a subpoena from Google. This is bananas. And, of course, apparently she's saying that Blake Lively doesn't support women. She says, here we go. So she says, it is so wrong of her to be crowdfunding for her legal fees for Blake Lively, now using her prior defiant lawsuit as if it is the same and asking people to fund this law. Yes, it is. That's really. She says, a new narrative. Blake Lively falsely accuses a female independent journalist who is a survivor of DV, SA, and intimate partner SA, mother of a medically fragile child with autism, and wife to a husband presently recovering from cancer treatment, who is the sole provider for her family and uses her income to save her child's future care because he will never live independently, of running a smear campaign against her and getting paid to take Justin Badoldi. All false, all slander. Is she saying that so the fact that the way that she's worded that, my little brain's just gone, is what she's saying, is what KJ's saying is all false. Oh dear. I mean, you would think if she was really that concerned, she'd be really careful about what she says, particularly with the current lawsuit going on. I mean, it's obvious she hasn't learnt anything, in my opinion. Now she's trying to get sympathy. What her child's future? Everybody wants it. So this is, I was sent a copy of the subpoena. So share with YouTube, including the first and last name, registered email address, phone numbers, physical address, backup recovery email address, subscriber registration information, link, and any premium services, means and source of payments for services, login, internet protocol, IP address from 1st of May 2024. Hello, Michelle. How are you? I was sent a copy of the redacted subpoena directly from a verified Google email address that handles subpoenas. This is the page for my account. I understand some of the creators have said that Ezra Hudson denied sending the subpoena, but I have this copy and my account is listed as user number 6. This is a subpoena. It is to YouTube, Google, not for your Gmail accounts. There you go. She has, Cheryl, she's opened the door. So then it says, this is directly from Google, along with the redacted, I understand. My lawyer reviewed the subpoena. We ran a header analyzer of the email address, and the email address came back valid, and I did forward to see what the email address was, and it's still the same email address. Why on earth is she doing this in public? Why does she have to do this? Right now, creator is claiming another YouTuber called Ezra, so double hearsay. My lawyer is following up now. This did come from Google. Whether they denied or not, don't know. What on earth is all that double talk? We require a fast stamp objection or motion to quash because we need verification this document had been filed in court and is awaiting judicial review. Except for subpoenaing people, KJ's done everything else. Blake Lively has done. A case, other than the fact that I know that KJ was involved. So then we go, if you are one of the creators, did they send her a cease and desist? If you are one of the creators impacted by Google's subpoena filed by Blake, please reach out, or me, so we can coordinate together. We are all on one subpoena and strengthening numbers. Both whoever it is and I have attorneys working on this, and believe if we can do all this together, we can not only save some of the smaller creators money, but also show strength to the court that we are not paid bots or journalists working for Badani. So she's now trying to say that she's a journalist. In Australia, being a journalist doesn't stop you from being sued. So she's talking about someone that's got 38. Yeah. One of the most challenging aspects of trying to file a joint motion to quash is not everyone wants to. Some people live outside the United States. Some are completely disconnected, and some want to do this on their own. There are many opinions. Creators outside the US, their banks cannot be subpoenaed by a US civil court, and international banks do not have to compel, especially if there is no evidence of a crime. We all know that we have not been paid nor participated in the smear campaign. I remain supportive of everyone, and I made just an expected alone. We'll figure more out in the coming days. Oh, she's a hero, isn't she? We've just got with the Blake believes all the content journalists that report on her because we are being deployed by Badoni. It's like legit confirmed from her lawyers. Legit. And it says, where is my money, Mr. Baldoni? If that's it. Isn't that the same as Katie saying that we're all paid by she said she's a citizen journalist. Oh, no. Hasn't she accused us all of being paid by other people? So is it she gets her nose out of joint when people say she's paid, but she accuses everybody else of it. Kevin Fritz tried to stand up for content creators in court today. He told the judge that Lively is seeking Google for account information of content creators that have been organically covering the case. Judge Lehman cut him off and told him there was a time and place for discussions of fact. I cannot believe this judge is allowing her to bring a baseless claim of an ongoing smear campaign that does not exist. And it says, Judge Lehman is literally so corrupt and treats Wayfair attorneys terrible. Now, here's my question. Is that statement, all right, so this statement, which could be, is that a statement of opinion or is that a statement of fact? This is, so remember, when you're looking at defamation, the thing is it has to be made to a person other than the, so it's been made to the public. Does it lower your opinion of the judge or that person? And is it an opinion or fact? So is she's getting accused of all the things yes, that's right. She calls the channels on. So have a think about it for the moment, all right? So here's it's going to be being published, okay? It's got to be a statement that would lower your opinion of somebody, and it's got to have cause harm to some reputation. That is the standard for defamation. So here's my question. Isn't she made a statement of opinion, which is a defense? Okay, opinion, honest opinion is a defense. Is it truth? Okay. Or is it fact? And it's got to be what would the person think now? See, now here's the thing. We look at the comments, petition change the judge. So they've already, so this one statement has already going to, how does he get a recusal? They really should take him off the case. He's definitely biased. The judge has made, that was so rude. He cut him off. Wasn't he the one that signed the subpoena requests? So now that statement that she's made, he's so biased. I knew it from day. So here's the issue that I think she has got, is now there are all these negative comments about the judge. Now, if she had not made that statement, would they have still made the same statements to that post? I'm about to drop a bomb about Blake Lively's smoking gun evidence. Whoa. And it's nothing anyone has heard for. Now, I have heard that it was not much. Was that like the bombing the Tidy Westbrook thing? Run to YouTube. The video is now. Never drank or never got drunk on live stream. Like, my lawyer would fire me if I acted like her. Well, the thing is, some law firms just also, they would see her as the golden goose, and as long as she pays her bills, they're set. Told her publicist that a man directed a film about DV was no different than the government taking away rights from women. I've seen the proof. This is the organisation of feminism, looks like, apparently. Okay, Jake Lehman dismissed Jed Wallace from Blake Lively's lawsuit against Wayfarer for lack of personal jurisdiction. Interestingly, in the order, Lehman states that Lively has failed to provide any evidence that any of the alleged smear campaign harassment even occurred in New York. Lehman noted that Justin Balderi and Jeremy Heath learning about the alleged harassment in New York, May 2023, is not evidence of a conspiracy nor evidence of a plot to develop a smear campaign 16 months later. Even suggested that the court may lack jurisdiction over the other members of the Wayfarer parties because Lively failed to show any actions taken against her in New York. Additionally, Lively's claim that Steve Sarowitz, someone who would pay $1 million to destroy her, does not mean that to connect the statement to any harm taken by anyone. The judge also doesn't buy that smear campaign happened to her before July 2024. The ruling points out numerous fatal flaws in her lawsuit and expressed confusion that other parties from Wayfarer did not file their motions. She has until July 30 to amend her claims that Jed Wallace took action against her in New York, but the judge doubted the evidence existed given that discovery is nearly over and she would have presented it in court. Video coming soon. Interesting. True, your lawyer said that is priceless. That's right. So now, this is 100% confirmed by Blake's attorney. Blake's attorneys, absolutely no public subscribers of any YouTube creator are at risk of their data being handed over to Lively. They never, ever hand over data to I don't believe they would ever do subscriber information. We proposed a few options to Lively's counsel to resolve the issue. We're objecting to handing anything over because none of us were paid by anyone. Her attorneys have been informed that we are only reporting on public records tied to a lawsuit. That's what I do with you, Katie. I just do the public records to the public lawsuit. Princess Blake with a new excuse not to be deposed. Okay. Lehman clearly hates Baldoni's attorneys. I forgot to put her whole case all settled before she has to sit for depositions. But anyway, she's saying, okay. Okay. She doesn't like Blake Lively, does she? isn't about defamation. It's about silencing criticism. There's no evidence of smear campaign. There is evidence of refuting her claim. Calling a public figure a bully or criticising how she marketed a film about DV, that's protected speech. Lively isn't suing over lies. She's making Justin Baldoni the scapegoat. This is about punishing survivors and the press for reacting to her behaviour. It's Darvo in action. Deny, attack, reverse victim and offender. Criticising isn't defamation, and accountability isn't abuse. The mainstream media apparently is picking up the story of being subpoenaed by Blake. The tone from journalists covering this is one of no one that I've spoken to can think of a single valid reason that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds would subpoena small creators and journalists other than to silence their freedom of speech. The above statement is from my attorney, Jennifer Moore. This should put anyone on notice that cares about freedom of speech that Blake and Ryan Reynolds are now trying to take out. Her statement, the subpoena issued to independent digital creator. Hey, it doesn't even say journalist. The subpoena issued to independent digital creator. No, I'm gonna go have a look at what Llama Girl's got later. The first sentence, the subpoena issued to independent digital creator Katie Paulson in the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni legal boot raises First Amendment's concerns. So now, first of all, she's not actually used the word journalist in that first sentence, in that very first line. Despite Lively's allegations of a coordinated smear campaign, Miss Paulson was not part of any such campaign. Her reporting was legitimate journalistic coverage of a legal matter of public interest conducted independently and in good faith. Subpoenaing small digital creators who were simply covering this story as news represents a troubling use of the legal process to intimidate independent voices. This action appears designed to chill the First Amendment rights of content creators who lack resources to legal defences. When independent journalists are subject to legal intimidation, it should be digital creators. Because you can't say at the top that she's an independent digital creator and then refer to her as a journalist. Coy says this is like watching a train derail in real time. When independent journalists are subjected to legal intimidation for reporting on matters of concern, it undermines the broader ecosystem of free speech in our democracy depends on. First Amendment protections must extend to all journalists regardless of platform. Now we get back to what is a journalist, because why didn't she refer to her as an independent journalist? Now here we go. Many of you have asked if you can help with the legal fees I'm now incurring due to being falsely accused by Blake Lively of being paid against her. This is obscene and defamatory allegation and accuses me, a survivor of DV and SA, of aiding and retaliation against her. I'm not paid anyone, and it's disgusting for her to brazenly tell my lawyers that I am part of this campaign and she's entitled to my bank records. The legal fees are mounting up and adding very fast. She's refusing to drop the subpoena and we will be forced to fight this in court. If you wish to donate, here it is. Now, here she says, independent journalists covering the latest news without bias or agenda. So she's got Vimo, PayPal, Cash App. I'm not setting up a GoFundMe as I find crowdfunding tedious and unnecessary. Blake has millions of dollars and not by any means as connected or as wealthy as her. She's evil and a bully to do this to anyone. Thanks for your help and help spreading the word about the harm he's inflicting. My husband is recovering from cancer. My son is autistic and mentally fragile. My work is our sole income. Anything will help. Just because I set boundaries as a creator and carefully decide who I want to associate. I mean, I have problems with everyone. It means I set boundaries to maintain my mental health and inner peace. I've had hard stuff going on in my private life that I do not want any drama or just my professions. Standing firmly, I do not want to be associated with someone is a boundary. I keep myself is a boundary This allows for what on earth is all of this doing? I spent years trying to please anyone, and I was bullied relentlessly as a child. After years of therapy, I learned that it's okay to set boundaries and be firm in your beliefs. I also learned I don't need to make anyone happy but myself. I am 46, have a son with many medical. How many times has she repeated that? Don't talk about my son and my husband with cancer. Choosing not to associate with people that view my child's autism as a disease that is a harm to our society must be eradicated. Saves my inner peace and protects him from discrimination. Without a Crystal Ball LLC is my profession and business. Choosing not to be friends with other creators or trusting about people isn't having issues. It's a toxic environment and there are tons of drama, which is why I don't collaborate. I respect many creators, but I keep a boundary in my life. I viewers like and come to because I don't engage in drama. Responding to people talking about me isn't being dramatic. What have all these posts been about? They've all been about drama. They've been drama. It's all drama. Oh dear. It's all been about drama. Lively subpoena to Google requesting information related to appears to provide no context, timings, or defences or parties in this proceeding. There is discussion regarding how the subpoena will overcome WOACB's journalistic privilege or the amount of information amounts to anything other than a simple fishing exposition meant to provide a bias for noticing a deposition that is likely to be set up as a distraction from the merits of the case. Graham Martin, counsel for Without a Crystal Ball. So many of you are. This is to stop talking about her. She doxed and bullied them, and the ones that didn't, she went ROs. Yes, she did. So these are all the people. So she's shared this because that's her post, and someone's posted that. Moonlight Receipts apparently is then Moonlight Receipts. We stand together. This is an assault on the freedom of speech. Help Without a Crystal Ball. And then she's circled Legit Kelly G has circled criticism isn't defamation and accountability isn't abuse. Well, that's the thing, Katie. Apparently, Blake's subpoenaing everyone. Hey, if you got the money. I just got huge news in my legal fight. Video coming. Ooh. Oh, she just won. What does she mean she just won? Oh, we're going to have to look at that video. So apparently she's saying she just won. We have to find this out. So she has won what the judge has said is that she can ask for reconsideration. That doesn't mean that she's won. Well, she's saying she's won. We read the order. The order stated that she had permission to file a motion for reconsideration. That doesn't mean that she's won anything. All right, here we go. This is what she says here. This is Llama Girls sharing this, so I probably don't need to worry. It says, hello, Aussie boy. It says, KJ thinks she won, and the truth is you are dangerous and active with malicious intent. All right, so let's have a listen to this. She says she's...
Wilkins family and family members of other...
Hi, besties. It's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. I cannot believe this. I am so excited. I can't believe this. I'm so happy. My mind. I cannot believe this. This has been going on for like 3 years. I'm shaking because in June I was like a little bit upset because Robert Shin of Shekinah Church, who is a pastor of this group of people, and he was the man featured in the Netflix series Dancing for the Devil, the 7M TikTok cult. Well, while we were making this series,
No, he didn't. He sued you beforehand, you fool. Because one of the things that they wanted was all the stuff that they wanted was all the information about the documentary. Oh, hello, Aussie boy, you missed me? Oh, that's good. I've missed you all too.
Us, including me. And this lawsuit's been going on forever. Summary judgment in January. And based on how discovery went and how we didn't get anything in discovery, how he didn't provide us any evidence of damages, and
they didn't need to provide you anything personally. You're the one that didn't file anything. You're the one that had the motion to compel.
His deposition and just all of it. We were almost confident that there was no way that it would survive a summary judgment. And so we were shocked when the judge ruled and denied part of it and said that there were aspects of this case that needed to go to trial. And the minute we got this back, I sat down with my legal team to figure out what we were going to do, and everyone believed that they got wrong. The facts are, this complaint that he had filed is filled with so many different statements. It has so many different allegations, and it's just completely all over the place. And since the complaint was filed, and since even our summary judgment was filed, there's been all these new videos that have come out of audio of him saying things that.
But that you didn't put evidence, you dipstick. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't be calling her names. The judge does not care what you have. The judge only looks at what is before her. If it's discovery has happened, you can't be adding new evidence now without permission, you dipstick. Oh, sorry. Oh, she's just put my blood pressure up. Oh, the lies, the insanity.
All but confirm everything that I've reported, and the Netflix terms what I reported. And
did I watch a different Netflix series? Your favorite villain, please come and deal with these vile human men on destroying reality and others. Hello, Christian. Waiting for Todd Chrisley to go.
it was frustrating because I live in a state where there's no such thing as anti-SLAPP shield law for attorneys or for journalists.
You're not a journalist. The first judge said it was undetermined. The court has not determined yet you are a journalist.
And the shield law that we have is nothing like what they have in New York or California. We have no protection. So it's like the best place for people to sue because they can just sue you and you can be stuck in court for 3 years. So
so happy to hear she's having money issues. Well, she does have a husband recovering from cancer and a medically fragile child.
Attorneys did this amazing thing and they consideration. And at the time, I had no idea really what she was looking for or what she planned to tell the court or what they got wrong because I was so disheartened by the ruling itself. So I got notice today from my attorney that the court granted our motion for reconsideration.
No, you have to file the motion for reconsideration. You have been given permission to file the motion. The motion is not in court yet. I can't believe people listen to her to get their legal stuff from.
I'm shaking right now because this means that the court likely got it wrong. And it's like,
no, it doesn't mean it that the court likely got it wrong. It means you're giving permission to put forward what you think the court got wrong. Doesn't mean that it's likely to happen. First person to ever ask for money to fight a lawsuit, she claims she's already won you.
That this case could get completely tossed. And I don't want to get ahead of myself, but let me explain to you what my attorney sent to the court. I'll read it to you. Jennifer Moore, she's my attorney. She's also representing me with Blake Lively. she wrote, pursuant to the general rules of practice, defendants respectfully request permission to file a motion to 385 order denying in part their motion for summary judgment. Compasses warrant reconsideration based on clear legal errors involving fundamental First Amendment protections that are dispositive of plaintiff's claims.
So she has just, in that reading her lawyer's letter, has just proven what she said. They respectfully request permission to file a motion to reconsider. It wasn't the motion to reconsider.
I love my attorney because she's like a staunch defender of freedom of speech, and she's such like a advocate for me, and she loves doing this kind of work.
I reckon she sees Katie Joy's name on the dashboard light up on the phone, and she goes, ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Well, that's right. None of the judges are correct as KJ.
So I'm gonna get teary-eyed. The court erred by treating protected opinion as actionable fact. The court's order commits a fundamental error by concluding that Ms. Paulson's commentary and use of the First Amendment's protection of free speech rests on the principle that under the First Amendment, there is no such thing as a false idea. The order finds a jury question exists because Ms. Paulson, after stating her opinions, usually follows up these posts with hashtags when trafficking, sex trafficking, cults, and forced labor. This reasoning reveals a critical legal error. The court failed to conduct the required threshold analysis of whether the hashtags themselves constitute protected opinion. The determination of whether a statement is protected opinion is a question of law for the court.
Oh, please, KJ hates free speech. She's a liberal-minded fool. Well, she's only against it if it's not her that's doing it. Nobody could enjoy working for KJ. Oh, look, she would frustrate me to death, but I'd take her money. I mean, as I said, she's now got the same trouble with the Blake Lively matter. All they're saying is that if we keep this chick around, we're going to be defending her, and
holding that only statements that are provably false are actionable. Instead, the order conflates these two distinct inquiries. Characterizing a group as a cult is a classic example of non-actionable opinion.
Not necessarily. So, but from what Jennifer Moore's saying, that anybody can call any group a cult.
Fast-paced, abbreviated context of social media, hashtags like trafficking function as a rhetorical shorthand to frame a topic of public concern, here alleged as meticulously drafted criminal accusations. Such rhetorical hyperbole is not actionable. The court's failure to perform its gatekeeping duty on this question of law is compelling reason for reconsideration. The court misapplied the actual malice standard. The order correctly identifies.
Now, the other thing the judge could be doing, office admin to tell Jenny's not available runner. The other thing the judge might do is the judge might thinking, oh lordy, let's just give him this motion and let's get another, because the judge, I don't think he'll be the same judge, get another judge to have a look at this train wreck, and we can compare notes later. But that's just speculation. That's what I'd be doing. I'd be going, I think we need to get this, and then after they've dealt with that, go, oh, what did you think? Oh, was that a train wreck? It's like a music teacher and I, a friend, we actually teach, like, she's in the room next to me, and she got one of my old students, and which was interesting. And she came to me and she said, what did you think of such and such? And I went, can I be really honest? And she said, yeah, tell me. And she said, and I said that I thought that the mother told me the kid was a genius. I didn't find him to be genius. I found him to be a know-all that didn't want to be taught because he knew everything. And she came to me and she said, that's exactly what I found. So we both had the same, experience and interpretation. Then he went to another teacher in the same school. She comes to us, asks us the same question. We all had the same response. And so we sat down and we were just talking about how hard it had been and comparing stories and of conversations with the parent and all that sort of stuff, feeling really sorry for the child. But my point is at some point down the track, But that's what I do. It's awfully brave wanting the videos to be
that
seen again.
plaintiffs are
It is.
public figures, but then misapplies the actual malice standard. For public figures, the plaintiffs must prove that the defendant acted with knowledge of falsity or reckless disregard for the truth. At summary,
See, I believe my belief is that she's reckless. She has reckless disregard of the truth. This is my opinion, because if you look at that statement where she about in her Instagram where she talks about Lehman being the judge being corrupt or biased, that's a reckless disregard for the truth, because she wants to portray a narrative. And so if you're trying to put a narrative, hello, short order, if you're trying to put up a narrative, you're going to be recklessly disregarding truth. Hello, short order. We've had some news in this morning that that the judge has asked or made an order that KJ can file a motion for reconsideration, but KJ is doing it so that it can go before the court. And we looked at the date, so we're going into October before everything's finalized. So we're going to be into probably the end of the year before this motion's even dealt with, maybe early next year. So it's another year going by. But she's just doing her victory dance. And Miss Balls has just posted something interesting as well on X. We'll have a look at that once we've done this. But her whole narrative has just changed.
Judgment. The plaintiff must come forward with clear and convincing evidence from which a jury could find actual malice. The order bases its finding of a triable issue almost exclusively on the fact that plaintiffs disputed the truth of Ms. Paulson's statements in their depositions. This reduces the constitutional standard to a common law credibility contest. A public figure cannot defeat summary judgment simply by saying that's not true. They must present.
They've also neglected the line where she said, where the judge said in her deposition, she said, particularly about the fact about the sponsors. She also couldn't follow judge's parameters when it came to page limits. Correct.
Affirmative evidence that the journalist subjectively entertained serious doubts as to.
Journalist. See, they keep, as I said in that statement from her lawyer, the fact that she referred to her as a digital content creator, which is what I think she is, does not make her a journalist. Otherwise, I'm a journalist. I'm no journalist.
To the truth. The order identifies no such evidence, thereby improperly shifting the constitutional burden to the defendant journalist. And then finally,
I want to know whether she's going to play. If she was going to be really transparent, she would put up 7M's
court
response.
Failed to recognize that boycott advocacy is a constitutionally protected justification for tortuous interference. The order fails to address a.
Did she say torturous? Did she just say tortuous?
The court failed to recognize that boycott advocacy is a constitutionally protected justification for tortuous interference.
Torturous interference. It's tortuous interference. I'm going to play that again.
To the defendant journalist. And it failed to recognize that boycott advocacy is a constitutionally protected justification for tortuous interference.
Torturous. That's where the water torches come in. Is that reminds me of the statuette instead of statue.
Advocacy is a constitutionally protected justification for tortuous interference. The order fails to address a dispositive constitutional defense to the plaintiff's tortuous interference claims.
Tortuous! She's tied them up and slapped them a few times.
Plaintiff's tortuous interference claims. The court found as fact that Ms. Paulson encouraged people to boycott plaintiffs.
Because she put it in her deposition that she did. Tortuous interference. I can't get over that one. judges.
Speech advocating for consumer boycott on a matter of public concern is constitutionally protective and cannot form the basis of a tort claim. The order states that whether Ms. Paulson alleged interference was justified is a factual decided by the jury. While justification may be a fact under this law, the existence of a constitutional justification is a question of law, establishing the court's duty of independent review on constitutional facts. This oversight and outcome determinative for counts 3 and 8 and constitute a compelling circumstance. These errors fundamentally misapply controlling precedent. We respectfully request permission to file a motion for reconsideration. So all that is to say that they ruled on things that from the precedent that's already set in our country and in the state of Minnesota is in opposite. So like they were trying to say that calling something a cult is actionable, but the state of Minnesota has already applied that calling someone a church a cult is like an opinion.
That's not what it means. Anyway, but that's okay. In your opinion, can Todd Chrisley go after her for breach? Possibly. That all is down to Todd Chrisley. I mean, we're assuming that they couldn't talk about each other. He could if he wanted to, for breach of settlement. I did the math based on the claims of non-case. She made $3.51 million in 39 months since grifting for her son to pay her legal fees of $200. Well, apparently, Miss Balls has just posted something on X where she's talked about where she's spent over $200K so far on this matter.
And then with the boycott aspect, I mean, can you imagine if you got sued and you said, if you don't want to like buy their products, you can boycott them? Or like if you're watching the stuff with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, think of it this way. Like, can you imagine if you were like, we need to boycott watching their movies, and then they sued you for interfering in their contract? It's wild. So I didn't know how it was going to go. And then this is what the judge said today. The above entitled matter came before the Honorable Carrie Willis for an in-chambers review of defendant's correspondent requesting permission to file a motion to reconsider the court's June 23, 2025 order granting in part, denying in part. Whereas plaintiff filed correspondence opposing the defendant's request, and whereas pursuant to Minnesota rules of general practice, motions to reconsider shall be granted only upon a showing of compelling circumstances.
That's right. She called the 7M management a cult, and that's where it's wrong. There's a lot. There were some good points in the opposition, but as I said, the judge may just go, look, okay, maybe there is something here, but maybe not. Often, it's very rare from. I can talk about Australia. We have appeals. Appeals don't often go the right way.
And whereas the court finds that compile a motion to reconsider do exist, including in part the extensive litigation history of this case, the complexity of the legal issues presented to the court, and the voluminous allegations in the complaint, and the importance of accuracy and clarity regarding the court's ruling. Remember how I told you with the Blake Lively case that
I'm shaking. She hasn't done the rest of it. She's not talked about the. Yeah. And also, it could be the judge has gone, you know what? It might be good, how I said about getting another judge's opinion, because let's just say this all happens and then the second judge decides that the first judge was correct. That's clarification, indication for you. The amount of time that they spent researching these cases, there's, as I said, not a lot of appeals get up. Some do, but it is your right to appeal.
Narcissistic people have this tendency to like overwhelm judges, and they create these complaints that have so many complex situations happening at the same time, and there's like that you can't even tease through what happens, and then they paint you as the dangerous one. This is what has been done to me for like the last 3 years. I have been painted dangerous, that I'm vindictive, that I'm doing this maliciously, that I hate people that are Christians, and that I completely just made up what happened. And one of the biggest problems here is that some of their actionable things that are left are literally me reporting from a public record or a court record, or somebody sharing with me and then me posting.
Yeah, but you wouldn't name them. You wouldn't prove that. You just said someone told me, and the court said, well, who's told you that? Oh, I don't know. Hello?
So one of their claims that the court completely ignored was that they had a contract with the LA Clippers. I had no contract, and all I did was posted on my Instagram that somebody else had contacted the Clippers.
That's not what you posted. You posted it to say a conversation about it being. Why don't you just tell the truth? Because it gave the impression that you said that you were having a conversation with somebody about cancelling the contract. You can't now change the narrative and say, but it was somebody else that did it, when the evidence that we've all seen shows that there were no names. You didn't put a name on there. I mean, hello.
On in this church, and that there was concern for the people involved, so it was a matter of public concern.
But the church didn't have a contract with the LA Clippers, Katie.
Contract, and all I did was posted on my Instagram that somebody else had contacted the Clippers and let them know what was going on in this church, and that there was concern for the people involved, so it was a matter of public. I didn't contact the Clippers. I didn't even call for people to contact the Clippers. Like, I got the message from someone, and then I posted it that they did this, right? And that's what's, to this day, trying to tell the court that no, I was the one that contacted the LA Clippers, and I told people to contact.
She went way beyond saying what someone said. Correct your order. Now she's saying it wasn't me,
and I didn't. That's one part that really frustrated me about the order, because I was like, LA Clippers. And I also didn't directly tell people to boycott anyone. I simply stated, like, you know, if you don't want to support what's happening here, and if you,
which is telling people to boycott. The other thing is, it allegedly, according to the judge, she said in her deposition that she did it. So you can't now. I really hope, as I said, if I can get the money together, I will. I'd love to go. Oh.
believe the people that have left that this is what's going on, you cannot support them, which again is a right that if there's a matter of public concern, you have the opportunity, any consumer can decide to pull and boycott a product based on matters of public interest and concern. And then another issue had to do with the trafficking, because I published a statement by one of the siblings of a man that was within this group, and the sibling told me that they believe their brother was being trafficked, labor trafficked. We did a post where she shared her belief of what was going on, why she came to this conclusion. We cross-referenced it to all these different lawsuit issues he's had and wage claim issues that he's had. And
well, that's right. She's twisting the story. And again, I can't remember that post where she's talking about traffic. If you this, then that, the only correct answer is to agree with. Now, as I said, she's trying to change the narrative, and she's hoping that all the people that are listening have got no idea of
that
the story.
somehow is me saying that he's trafficking them, even though all I did was report it. And the Netflix series brings up the same issues with the trafficking.
Does it really? Prior to the Clippers deal, didn't KJ say internet do your thing? She did say that, and that was referred to in the judge's decision. But the lawsuit was filed prior to the thing is, right, unless it's before the court doesn't care how many videos are out there saying that this guy's a bad guy. What the judge looks at is what is. So if she wants the Netflix series to be in the court, she has to actually literally put it in the court. Otherwise, the judge doesn't care about it. She told people all the time not to buy items, not only from them, Douglas and many others. I can't believe her lawyers don't quit because she won't shut up. As I said, she's the golden goose for them. I can see Jennifer Moore and Graham Cracker sitting there celebrating, getting excited every time I see her name, because that's more money. What is that, $100 per email or something? Is it? They're probably on $250 to $150 to $200 an hour. Just dealing with her case would take hours and hours. So just responding to an email would be, $100.
So again,
Yeah,
it kind
oh.
of begs the question that just because you talk about it and you're reporting on it, you're not the one making the accusation. I'm not the one making the accusation. The people involved were the ones making the accusation. And I'm just saying this is what they're saying. This is what the lawsuits have been. This is what the parents are saying. And then when it comes to the malice, oh my God, this part made me so upset, you guys, because people will lie when it comes to deposition. When I was telling you about why Blake is probably not trying to sit for hers, is because all three of them sat in their chairs, and it's my opinion they lied. And their only counter for things that I reported on was that's not true. But then they provided us no evidence to show that it wasn't true. And they had no counter for the evidence that we provided of what people said happened, their receipts, quote unquote, and the lawsuits that were being filed against him for this. And the court just ignored all of it. It was so frustrating. So I'm just really glad that this is going to be reconsidered and they can hammer out these last issues.
Netflix story is based on her archive consulting. She can't blame Netflix unless she wants to do her damn. Yeah, well, that's right. And the court doesn't want past cases against RS. They actually prevailed not. Well, yeah, relevant history, even in criminal cases, aren't really relevant until you get to the point of sentencing or compensation, because then you can say, well, they have a tendency. So, for example, let's just say, for example, 7M wins and they're going to look at what they're going to pay. They can then bring up all the times Katie Joy was sued or everything else to say, look, she has a history of defaming people. Here's the time she's been sued. Yes, she settled with all of these. This is her current stuff. We want to make sure that she is very careful about what she says in the future, and the judge will take that on board. In a criminal case, unless character is brought up, someone brings up the character of somebody, or when they're looking at whether they're going to do a jail sentence or a fine or something, when they look at the character of the person, that's when they look at all crimes. But unless the crimes are related, criminals, yeah, a little bit different, because some of the if you're a repeat offender and you've done the same thing several times, then it becomes relevant. But for example, if you had an incident as a 16-year-old and then you're before the court as a 40-year-old, they're not really caring about the 16-year-old stuff unless it's similar. Anyway, so.
And hopefully this will be the end, because the thought of having to go to trial with this man makes me want to pull my hair out, honestly. So if you want to know why narcissists get wins in court, it's because they confuse the judge. They overwhelm them with.
Is she implying there that the judge is incompetent? Is that what she's saying? Is she implying, is her implication here the judge is incompetent?
This will be the end, because the thought of having to go to trial with this man makes me want to pull my hair out, honestly. So if you want to know why narcissists get wins in court, it's the judge. They overwhelm them with information. They overwhelm the complaint. They make and paint the person that's on the receiving end, the defendant, look crazy and unhinged and dangerous. And the reality is me, in my lawsuit, I'm being treated the same way that Blake is treating Baldoni and everyone else. They get rulings that are awesome because they confuse the judges, and some got it wrong. So hopefully in this case, we can figure out how to get rid of these final claims and be done with this case for good, because this case and this lawsuit has always been frivolous from day one. I don't report with malice. I report everything in good faith and from public records and from eyewitness accounts and people directly involved. So yay! This was a big win for me. I haven't had a lot of wins in this case, so I'm feeling really, really hopeful for the first time in a long time. So yeah, thank you guys. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. Bye, besties.
Wow, bye, besties. Give me all your money, besties. What the implication when she says judge not realize what on earth? Now, if she's saying you can't bring in Netflix because they're not part of it, she is, because you have to have two sources that confirm what she's saying. This part, though, wait for it, the amount of nonsense she included herself, yes. So I can't believe she is actually implying the judge is incompetent. as if the judge just is believing people. As I said, she would not have anything to do with. She would not have, and the judge would not have cared, does not care about the Netflix. She wouldn't have gone and searched the Netflix thing. She's only looking at what is before her. How many pages did she that? Well, lots. Says, today I've spent around 200,000 fighting this frivolous lawsuit. The case has caused so much harm to my personal life and safety. I am one step closer to this ending. If you want to help me, consider donating. Venmo, PayPal. I'm reading all of your comments, so don't hold back. Like to this video as the drama unfolds. Okay. Then
crystal ball.
What's
That's
this
the
one?
only infighting that I'm aware of that has tried to cause rifts with a bunch of other people. I know she's taken some shots at Andy. The only infighting that I know of is really only related to one creator. You know what? Fuck it. I have no reason to protect this bitch. Broken crystal ball. That's the only infighting that
I have no reason to protect.
the only infighting that I know of is really only related to one creator. You know what? Fuck it. I have no reason to protect this bitch. Broken crystal ball. That's the only infighting that I'm aware of that has tried to create problems and cause rifts with the. I know she's taken some shots at Andy this week. I'm not trying to stir up any drama. Personally, I don't like the bitch. She made all those false allegations against me. She never apologized for it. She throws these things out there, deletes the content, and I don't like that type of shit. We're supposed to have each other's backs. We're all in this together, and we're supposed to have each other's backs. Actually, I don't want that bitch on my team. Fuck that. I don't want anything to do with her. I want nothing near her and her broken crystal ball.
Oh, broken crystal ball.
Nothing. The way that she treats other creators is disgusting. She is a despicable human being. She plays into to give her Venmo money right now. She's a disgrace. She's embarrassing to even call a creator that's on Team Baldoni right now. I want nothing to do with her. She literally disgusts me, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart because I believe this person to be a vile human being. And bullshit about me on her account. What she accused me of doing and discriminating against her son that I had no idea she even had a son. I'll be very clear with you. I never had an argument with her. I never had a disagreement with her. Our exchange was always very minimal because of her. I posted a video about my autistic brother, my brother with autism, where anybody who knows my history knows that I have been a huge outspoken advocate for the autism community, have raised millions of dollars to support families affected. So for somebody to accuse me of something like that without knowing their information, fuck off, literally. Please. It's despicable that people can go on the internet and make such egregious false allegations.
So she's made some allegations to him about him regarding autism, apparently. Broken crystal ball. He should have said cracked crystal ball, yeah.
And then just delete it as if nothing happened. Okay? To move past this, if I get an apology. Okay? That's what I need. That's what I deserve. Okay? Because the real reason that I blocked Broken Crystal Ball is because she was in my comments attacking other autism moms that I know personally, stories of their children that are on the more severe side of the spectrum. Okay. She decided to allow her politics to blind her and to let her emotions get the best of her. So without a conversation with me directly, she went into my comments in a video about my brother and started fighting with other moms. I didn't tolerate that. She has too many Instagram followers than to be trying to bully and intimidate journeys and stories she knows nothing about. And so because I blocked her, she went and wrote some nasty things about me on her Instagram account. I don't take that shit lightly. Okay. I'm not the bitch that if you're going to shoot me, and guess what? I'll come back to life like a zombie. You're not going to put me out. Okay. That is not okay. Not only as autism families should we be sticking together, but as content creators, we should.
So she's apparently made a post about him now. Of course she has. Hello, Laura. Oh, here we go. Here she is. In case Zach Peter is wondering, my deleted post wasn't about you. I don't like you because you want to eradicate autism and promote abusive, discriminatory cures and misinformation about autism. You blocked me for telling you it was offensive for you to condone RFK for calling autism a tragedy and equating our children to a health crisis and stain on society. My son is autistic. I am on the spectrum. I get to decide how I feel about your harmful beliefs that you spew to your audience. Discrimination and medical misinformation contributes to marginalization of autistic people. That's the truth. That's your answer. Stop playing the victim. Apparently, Zach thinks my recent posts are about him, so here's my post. Please do not tell me I have a problem with everyone. I get to decide how I feel about people that promote autism, misinformation, and discrimination. But here's the other thing, is that autism looks at people as well. So yes, so she's now not happy about this. So she's watched it.
We should absolutely be sticking together. We should not be trying to divide each other, throw allegations at each other, rip each other apart, dox each other. It's ridiculous. She's embarrassing. She's a complete embarrassment for ever have been associated with. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. She is a wackadoodle. When there's an apology and there's some real atonement and some correction in her behavior, not just towards me, but towards my friends and other creators that are, then maybe there's some path forward. But as of right now, I don't take that shit lightly. I'm not the bitch to false allegations out on the internet about.
Yeah, that's right. When did she say she was on the spectrum? That's a new one, isn't it?
I don't take that shit lightly. Okay? I care about my brother and I care about the autism community and our creator community much to allow somebody to do shit like that to me and then to start going after all my other friends, to go after Leanne, to go after Andy, to go after Donna. You're embarrassing. You're a joke. You're a bigger joke than Blake Lively is. Keep begging for your little Venmo money and maybe somebody can give you $5 to feel better about yourself because you're clearly so deeply insecure that you have to tear down other people. I don't do that. All right, we're going to take a quick message from our sponsors and then we'll get more into the Blake Lively.
Oh, wow. Oh, dear. Amazing plot twist would be from non-roughly former friend of the antagonist contributed to the legal defense fees of content creators who have also been targeted with a threat of having personal information. OMG, yes, please, Taylor, give us your money. Really? Well, maybe she's used Dr. Google. Oh, boy. Oh, yeah, here's this good one. Somebody, Miss Balls, says if Google does turn over info on her and it becomes public record in new evidence. It is a very interesting point because some of that Google stuff might actually. No, she keeps saying he's medically fragile, doesn't she? But she hasn't actually said that he's autistic. Yeah. She will never rise. I began wanting people immediately when I heard Katie was getting involved in this case. Says how many times? Oh. Oh dear. So yes. So she's now come out on the foot. Now she's saying, attacking. So yeah, she has attacked. I believe she has attacked other creators. So So I just find it very interesting. But she's been she's trying to stop the subpoena because if that information becomes public, it could be very interesting because again, I don't understand why, if she's got all of this damning evidence against Robert Shin, why she hasn't actually applied, and then she's also made it into her stories, why she hasn't applied to have it entered into the court. The only issue that I can see is that that we get to this problem where some of the evidence relates to the church, which isn't party to that. That's the biggest hurdle I think that needs to be overcome, the separation between the church and 7M, because she's calling 7M the cult, but using stuff that happens in the church as the evidence. It's just bizarre. That's all I can say. Todd, come get your girl. And, well, I mean, and don't forget, Todd Chrisley may be just waiting, because let's see if he goes after her. If 7M was to win and 7M takes all her money, what's left for him? And Miss Balls also said this. Also, remember when she was crying for money for medicine? And I wrote on there, if he is ill, as she says, he gets Social Security, then she admitted benefits. She's swinging that bat everywhere, hoping something. Says this happens all the time in civil cases, so KJ won't have grounds to appeal. Cannot be allowed to present new evidence. That's the problem. That's the problem, because if they decide that everything, if the reconsideration fails, then that's essentially game over. She's got to go. And whoever this says, I don't understand the joy you get by bullying her. I'm not bullying her. I'm using publicly available information and reporting on a case, and I'm just trying to give you the other side. I'm just trying to give a balanced view of the case. Do I think 7M has done some shady stuff? Yes. Do I think the church has done some shady stuff? Yes. Well, that's right. Ah! My son said that he likes to claim that she's got it rough, so he wants. Here we go. Look at this. Someone says, I like how you conduct business. No grey areas. You're professional and clean. People don't like women who hit social media like bosses. I'm very black and white, and I think I'm most likely on the spectrum, if that explains everything. So she's self-diagnosed. Dr. Paulson has made the diagnosis. Boy, here, I also appreciate your quiet, focused, deep diving journalism. Your hard work is appreciated here. Thanks. I'd be friends with you, but friends are exhausting. Introvert problems. The right to be. Anyone who has problems with boundaries, someone who hasn't set theirs, and people who don't set boundaries are the ones to yell at you and call you difficult when you don't want to deal with their nonsense. I followed you for years, and I followed the creators you post about. I'm not trying to be rude. We're just here for info, not the big D. I don't have problems with anyone. I don't support Zach with autism and promotes harmful and abusive discriminatory beliefs about autism. I have a right not to want to associate with him. Golden was rude to me and trashed me. I have a right to respond. I don't have drama. Or you did because you responded. I respond to people talking. You know, Stuart made a whole video to correct me and scold me. Maybe I don't like him for a reason. I'm 46. I don't need to be scolded. I find it hysterical that you have such opinions and tell me what to do. Did you read my post? I don't exist to make you happy and find my followers that know me know this about me. I also find it hysterical that you have such opinions and tell me what my post. I don't exist to make you happy. So no diagnosis except for a husband. Yes, well, apparently, yeah, Dr. Paulson. As a creator and definitely have the right to set boundaries, but I've heard Zach speaks about autism. His brother is on the spectrum and Zach loves him deeply. He just understands that autism can be difficult to navigate for the person with autism and their caretakers. Katie says, no, he pushes for cures and eugenics and discriminates against them. So please do not gaslight me. Zach falsely believes vaccines cause autism. His friend Jenny has promoted dangerous treatments are abusive to autistic people. I am myself likely on the spectrum. And I just to decide if someone is healthy for me or is not. He believes autism is a catastrophe to society. Jenny promotes hyperbolic chambers that have killed kids. I don't know, but from what I just heard from there, he has said that his brother's on the spectrum. Says she's never been fact that you are on the spectrum after a few minutes earlier saying you think you are. And that's the problem. Fact. I'm going to have to go, she says, tortuous interference instead of tortious interference, because that just cracked me up. Absolutely cracked me up. So someone was also saying, I mean, as I said, I think it says she's spending 200K. So it says the max it could cost to file a motion of cost is $1,210. That's me being really generous. From what I can tell, there's a fee of $210 to file the motion to quash plus attorney hours. So I gave her two hours at $500 an hour. But I guarantee she's already scammed a subs out of 10 times of that in the past 48 hours playing victim. Yeah. So as I said, it's not necessarily the filing fee that's the problem. It's the attorney. She's now got 2 cases that she's got attorneys working on. Oh yes. And this is the llama kill video. Wait on. Remember this?
For manipulation, and you're an easy target for abuse. So if you have someone telling you, oh, don't think that we need to have sex, because that's what these leaders do. I got a prophecy. Warren Jeffs, one of the most evil fucking men in the whole world, who took a 12-year-old little girl and went into a like temple and raped her on tape and told her that God instructed him to teach her about sex. That's what happens when you put your blind faith and you stop thinking into somebody who claims that they have all the answers for God. He's conditioned them not to think, picking people that he knows that won't think. And he's also playing on their weaknesses. So not targeting people that have any sense of confidence or self-assurance or any experience. Like, I'm trying to imagine, right? and I'm trying to like imagine him trying to lay it on thick with me, and I'd probably tell him to fuck off. Because a Bentley, if you drive a, like, dude, I could buy probably I could buy a Bentley right now if I wanted to, but I drive a 2010 Honda because I just don't give a shit about what I drive. It's not important to me.
Didn't she then go out and buy a Bentley? No, a Beamer?
But for people like him, it's all about like appearances. And so he wouldn't have that, he couldn't use that angle with me, right? And I'm not desperate to be on TV and I don't want fame, but he knows that these people are desperate and they want these things. He's luring.
Remember when she, so there she said she could buy 2 Bentleys. I could buy 2 Bentleys now. And then now she's begging for money. And then she's showing, she couldn't wait to show off her Beamer. That's right. Then, look at this. She's excited because somebody's gifted her some money. She has insurance to cover all. Well, that's right. She did say that, but I bet you she denies it now. It's at 5:23 in the morning. So why is she? Oh no, who? When was? Yeah. Huh. Someone should be asleep. But see, she's not. But I don't understand why she has to file a motion to quash the subpoena. Can't she just oppose the subpoena? So you can object to it. Otherwise, you can get fined, contempt of court, or imprisonment. Well, yeah, she's gonna try and get money. Of course. Hi, Bo. That's all right. If you have a valid reason to object the subpoena, you must file a formal objection with court before the production date. So I don't believe that you would need to do a motion to quash. I believe you could just object to a subpoena. But again, I don't know. Again, I don't know what the court that it's in, but this is the federal rules of civil in the US. The state that's issued notice by whom, so how it should be done, service in a foreign country, the place of compliance, quashing or modifying the subpoena when required on timely motion in the court, the district where to quash or modify a subpoena fails to allow a reasonable time to comply. Okay. Requires a person to comply beyond the geographical limits specified, requires disclosure of privileged or other protected matter if no exception waiver applies, subjects the person to undue burden. So they're the reasons you are able to quash or subpoena. Where permitted to protect a person subject or affected by a subpoena, the court for the district where compliance is required may, on motion, quash or modify a subpoena if it requires disclosing a trade secrets. Those lawyers want those subpoenas, they are not going to get them. They are not They're not asking for health information or anything like that. No, they just, when I did the numbers, where's her money? She's asking her sons who aren't making 90K a month to help her pay for legal fees. Oh, it is, isn't it? So they may, this is what she has to show to get quashed. Disclosing a trade, other confidential research, development, or commercial information. Disclosing an retained expert's opinion or information that does not describe specific occurrences or disputes. Or they may add conditions. So I don't. She will be successful in question because if they're the reasons for to get a subpoena quashed, I'm not sure that she has what it has. And the good thing is, see, a person commanded to produce documents may permit inspection. The objection must be served at any time. So yeah, she can respond. Untimely motion, yeah. So here's the other question for you. By her publicizing the subpoena and everything, because she's shared from subpoena what they're asking for, has she done a contempt of court? Could she be done for contempt? So, for example, in Australia, there are only 3 reasons you can object to a subpoena: that the documents requested are irrelevant, that they're not related to the case, that they're privileged. So, for example, doctor-patient, lawyer-client type of relationship. And the terms of the subpoena are too broad. She bothered me today saying her husband's cancer was worse than they thought, and he had to keep getting blood. Any person who has cancer for the first 2 years goes in every 3 months and every 6. Well, that was my understanding, that when you have regular checkups. But we know that she has a narrative that she needs to get across. And in my opinion, this is my opinion, that she has no problem with reckless disregard of the truth because of that. So this is what she's filing. A motion to quash is a formal request made to the court to declare a specific pretext, such as a subpoena and arrest warrant, as invalid or void. The purpose of filing a motion to quash is to challenge the legal sufficiency or validity of the document or proceeding in question. When a motion to quash is filed, the court will review the arguments and the evidence presented by the party filing the motion, as well as any opposing arguments. Decide whether the motion is granted or denied. If the motion is granted, that means the documents or proceedings in question is declared invalid or void. If the motion is denied, the document or proceeding remains in effect and the case or legal process will continue. Okay, so that's what a motion to quash is. If you ever want to, if you ever need legal definitions, Court Information Institute is the place to go. So we use it all the time as students, all the time. WEX is a free legal dictionary and encyclopedia. So we use it all the time. It's one of the ones that's bookmarked on university computers because of that fact, because it just, you know, you can find out what the definitions are. So if we wanted to find out what the definition of torturous or tortious, I can't even say torturous like she pronounced it. And then you've got here, so I just put in tortious, and so you've got the definition of tortious here. Then we've got tortious interference, tortious acts within the scope of employment. Then there's a note here, and then some cases, and then costs, and tortious claims and stuff. So yeah, again, this is mainly US stuff, but it also helps. Oh, thank you, Bo. But yeah, this is really good for definitely definitions and stuff. So yeah, thank you, Bo. So yeah, so we've had there's been a lot with the judge talking about allowing. So just to recap, Her Honour has allowed Katie Joy to file the motion for reconsideration. So that's going to be done within the next 30 days, and then they've got 21 days to respond, and then she's got 14 days to respond to that. So whoever files the motion gets the chance to respond, okay? And then the judge then decides, it goes before the judge, and the judge decides. Now, most judges also have reviewed cases before they even look at them. So and we also learnt that apparently Dr. Paulson has diagnosed herself as being on the spectrum. So that's what we've discovered today, and that she's trying to raise money for legal fees. So there we go. Now here's something else to ponder. Mrs. Cares on X actually posed the question about what if Katie Joy was audited by the tax, we call it the ATO, Australian Tax Office, the IRS, or her income. What would that show? And it's an interesting proposition, isn't it? To see. Okay. But she's very big on saying I'm the sole income earner for my family at the moment. That's her go-to at the moment. I'm the sole income earner, and well, whoopie-doo, so am I. But I don't put all of my happenings all over the place. If I'm not on, it means that I'm busy. Like I'm working. Today's like a day I've been home. I've been home most of this week, but I've been doing stuff around the house. I've actually just finished off. And I've been doing planning. I've actually planned out. We have Father's Day in September in Australia. I've actually planned out the gifts that my students are going to give their dads for Father's Day. that's what I do during my holidays. I plan and I put together, because that's what we do. But anyway, I've been on for nearly 2 hours, so I'm going to head off now. So thank you for watching. I'm going to change the title and probably might do some stuff with this. But yes, thank you for watching. I hope to be back soon. I hope you enjoy my little snippets into my life. I just had, for those of you that have been following, I just had the black currant wardrobe. I really like it. But Todd said he's employed by her. Well, that's right. She should be paying wages. She should be paying his wages. But someone lives as well, because she's been on TikTok as well. And I'm interested to see, and they've been a bit of train wrecks apparently, but I've been reading. I just, for something that she hates, she likes to go back to it. But what we really need is, thank you, short order. This is for cake. Nice, thank you. What we really need is a drunk live, hey? Haven't had one of those for so long. We need an Insta live. So this is what she's put on her underneath her video. If you'd like to support this channel and help with legal expenses, please consider sending a super thanks. Every bit truly helps. Your likes, comments, and subscriptions also make a huge difference in keeping this story visible. Thank you for standing up with independent creators. Also, some of you have asked for my PayPal link to donate to our legal fees. Here's the link. So there you go. Now she's talked about independence. She's referred to herself as an independent creator there. See, that I believe. She's an independent digital creator, is her. What I wouldn't call her is a journalist, because as we know, now, in my opinion, if she was doing fair reporting on the judge's outcome, she would have shared the letter that the opposing side had shared with the response. Said, here's what my lawyer wrote. Here's the response. Here's how they responded. Here's what the judge said. That's fair and balanced reporting. But that wouldn't help with her. That wouldn't help with her narrative, you see. But fair and balanced reporting means doing both sides, and that's what we did. That's what we've done. We have looked at her letter, 7M's letter, and then the judge's decision. So, and then, yeah. All right, yeah. So as I said, I'm just going to check to make sure. See, if, I thought Lama Girl had put TikTok, one of her TikToks up. I just was wondering, but no, I don't think so. But that's okay. I don't need to see. Oh yeah, no, she did do it. Oh gee, do we want lives? All right, let's just do it. We'll just do it. Click one of three of them. But if she wins all of those, well, that's right. If she wins, why does she need money? Okay, so all right, so this was
trying to figure out where I'm going to go and where I'm going to invest my time. And I can't decide. I have a love-hate relationship with TikTok. Does anyone else? Does anyone else? Does anyone else? Does anyone else? Does anyone?
I know I said I was going, but hey, I can't resist, hey. You've got me. You're stuck with me.
Else? Does anyone else? Hi, guys. I it too because they're tapping bug. You don't get Instagram. You won't get TikTok.
Oh, what just happened?
Get Instagram. You won't get TikTok. Yeah, you just scroll.
Oh.
I'm just trying to figure this all out. Mama Bear. This all out. Mama Bear. I've been trying. Did I move up in ranks? Nope, I have not. Or still. I have trouble paying attention. Hi, Mama Bear. I have not. I need like a zillion diamonds to move up at this point. And this week has apparently been like, I was live for an hour around 5 o'clock and I got enough for $1. And yeah, not to say anything, like that's not the point. But I know that if I moved up, my lives would be pushed out more. So it's like, you're penalized on TikTok for sure.
How boring, hey? So yeah, it's Llama. I think that's Llama Girl's Llama.
I feel like it's been an emotional few days. And a lot of really amazing creators that I deal with all the time, that I talk to, that are like, I have a good relationship with, and that I have a lot of respect for, and that are like compassionate and caring, and they're not petty or mean or play games. And I always just feel like I've always taken things on the chin and just let people run their mouths, and I try to ignore everyone, and then like they feel like I got piled on, or I've been feeling like it's just kind of been overwhelming. Like sometimes I just don't appreciate getting piled. I ignore people for the most part, but sometimes you have those creators like in your comments, or yeah, I kind of feel like I'm always playing like.
But what's interesting, wasn't she in somebody else's comments piling on people too? I mean, you know, fair's fair, right? Not that it's right.
Piled on. Well, yesterday I felt like I was getting piled on YouTube, and more recently it's been like piled on YouTube. But it's not really like all the
This social media stuff is awesome. I trust everything you say. You have the facts. This is the problem. This is her problem. This one, it's a mama bear, right? This is where the issue is. Thing she says as fact. This social media stuff is crazy. You're awesome. I trust everything you say. You have facts. And there is, my friends, the problem. Because people think that they have no discernment.
It's like a couple of them, but they tend to be the loudest, and it's just a lot. And then if I express my about it, and I try to talk to people or talk to creators about it, they're just, those types take accountability or care. So it's like, why do I even bother?
You're looking at without a crystal ball in the mirror. Because I could put an argument forward that she's talking about herself there.
I try to be factual, get things legally wrong all the time. And there are creators on TikTok that claim to spend their lives cleaning up the misinformation. They've never claimed to be a lawyer. So.
But you can't claim to be a lawyer because you're not one.
You know?
Well, it's interesting because she just said, I've never claimed to be a lawyer, and people spend time cleaning up. Well, that makes sense then. Lawyer, she can't be taken as fact, right?
What I've learned about lawyers in TikTok law is that lawyers are like, some of them are, and I guess lawyers are just like a model, right? So there's some good people, there's some arrogant people, there's some jerky people. And I guess like lawyers as a whole would follow that same model. But I feel like because of the level field, I feel like it invites a lot of like narcissistic that's just is on LawTube or on TikTok. My private, like my lawyer and his legal team are like lawyers that I see on social media. Now there are some good social, but there are some that I just don't like. And they all have different opinions. So that's like the hard part. Because that's what they do, is that's what do the law.
Well, yes, it's about sometimes the person that wins is the one that can argue the best, by the way. There's a few comments that don't cut the mustard on her comments, yes. Well, most of what you say is pretty factual and close to accurate as other creators. But here's my question to you. Somebody who is trained with a law degree gives an interpretation of the law, and then you have Katie Joy gives an interpretation of the law. Which one do you think has more credibility? The one that has studied the law or the one that hasn't? And she gets really upset if one of those lawyers disagrees with her.
Team sometimes laughs. They'll watch the lawyers if they're talking about me, and they'll be like, they got that wrong, that's wrong. Lucky for us, we know what we're doing. Just like doctors, yeah. There's some bad doctors, and all doctors have different opinions, right? Like, how do you guys all have the same education and you come out so vastly different?
Because medicine is the practice of medicine. They practice medicine, general practice. It's not an exact science. Is she really that clueless? In my opinion.
How is it that you all are following and like you read the law and you see something completely different than somebody else?
And it's just like the Bible. You could read the same passage of the Bible and everybody could interpret it differently.
I don't know that I would be the best attorney, because I feel like I'm a pretty black and white thinker. Yeah, interpretation for sure. And then some lawyers I've also learned that one specialized, they aren't always say for instance, your specialty is in I don't know, family law. I would think that if you were gonna commentate on law, you would stick to matters involving what your work and everyday expertise. I find that when people start talking about areas outside, they're just like us.
So what does that say about Graham Cracker? I think this is jumping around. I don't think it's I think it's the recording. So I'm gonna let it just do a little bit more, and then I'm gonna stop it here and we'll put it away.
It's kind of like when a criminal is being on probate, probate. Would you want a criminal defense attorney to handle your probate estate?
Do you want your probate attorney to be working on your civil case? Oh dear. Oh.
Everyone is so
what?
Everyone is so
yeah, I'm done. I've got to get out. We'll get out of here. So we'll finish up with that. But anyway, it's just that statement about having your probate attorney in criminal. Well, what about your probate or your criminal doing probate. What about your probate lawyer doing so? But medicine is the practice of medicine for a reason, because it's not an exact science. It's just like saying, date is, because it's one of those inexact sciences. We all know it, right? But apparently not everybody knows it. Hopefully that's going to work. Hopefully this will work. Anyway, so yeah, oops. So you can see why I don't need to remove my background, because it's not working. Anyway, based on that, I'm going to head off. Look at my horrible background behind me. Yeah. Well, thank you for joining. We'll leave that. I might do it as a reaction video. But yeah, that was funny what we heard, how she's talking about lawyers. So lawyers are right about her on TikTok. Her lawyers are going course to give her a different interpretation because they're blowing smoke up her butt. Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. But they're not given an honest interpretation. And I think that as I said, signs and thinking this is just easy money here. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I will catch you again next time. Bye for now.